Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dig Deep with Dragonfly podcast. Today, I have a really exciting guest on here. He just joined the Dragonfly team. Sam, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us sport you play, school you go to, major, and year, if you can remember all that.
All right. Hi guys. My name is Sam Abreu. I'm a senior at Lewis University. I played soccer throughout my whole life. I initially started at North Central College, and then after 2 years, I transferred to Lewis University. I am studying psychology, so I'll be graduating in May with a bachelor's in psych, and then I'll be going on to getting my master's at UW Green Bay for their sport exercise performance psychology program. So very excited about that.
Okay, and then tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing with Dragonfly.
So with Dragonfly, I'll pretty much be working more on the sports psychology part. So working with a sports psychologist, being able to find new information to help younger athletes transition and and help themselves through their sport.
Period. That's so exciting. Sam and I have known each other for a handful of years now. We're basically like family at this point. We travel together for different League One stuff, if you guys have seen that on my pages. But it's been really fun getting to know him, and I'm excited for you guys to get to know him as well. So, today we're going to be talking about kind of life after sport. You're going to be graduating soon, and soccer is coming to an end. And so, I just have a handful of questions to ask you. First, being, can you kind of take us back to the moment you knew your athletic career was coming to an end?
For me, it was the beginning of my senior year. Right when we took promo picks, our coach decided to have all the seniors in there. So just a group of guys taking pictures, and we all knew it was going to be our last run. So we just wanted to make it count.
Yeah. I feel like that's how a lot of us seniors feel. Like, especially that media day, you're like, well, this is our last one. Like, there's so many lasts during that season. And so it's like, it becomes real so quickly. But how did that realization kind of feel in the moment when it was happening?
Um, I mean, with all the guys around, you're kind of happy to spend it with them.
Hmm.
I don't think we all knew. Well, personally, for me, I was more excited to get everything started. It's a new season. I just returned from injury, so I think for me, I wanted to make a statement and go out with a bang.
Hmm.
So, as the season went on, I was like, "Oh wow, this is real."
Real. It gets real really fast because you spend like, what, you're 22 too, right?
21 by the turn
21.
22.
Okay, about to turn 22. So for almost like 20 years, that's all you've known. And then when that comes to an end, it's like, what now?
hmm
Like the weirdest feeling ever. And I'm seeing like my roommates go through that. And then also like I'm trying to prepare myself for that for next year. Like I still have a year left of playing. So it's just like weird seeing everybody go through it. And I'm like, oh, that's gonna be me in a year. It's weird to think about.
No.
Okay, so when you stopped playing, did it feel like you were losing kind of a part of yourself because soccer had been such a big part of your life?
Um, I did in a sense, just because our season was in the fall,
Mhm.
uh, and throughout all the things I witnessed throughout this last season, I didn't feel it right away. I more felt it like after a couple months, of like I kind of had this emptiness inside
Yeah.
of trying to understand who I am and the person that I kind of just got lost. Um, but it's more of just a sense of it's always going to be there.
Hmm.
Understanding of that was such a big part of my life, and I have to remember all the good that came with it.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's like when it's over, I feel like all you can think about is like I'm losing this part of my life, but it also brought you so much good to your life. So you got to like remind yourself of that so you don't lose sight of it. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
What would you say was the hardest part about it all being over? Like the loss of like the routine, the competition, locker room, your teammates, anything
So um
much?
for so much for sure my teammates, I got to make like a lot of really good friends. The amount of connections I was able to make. I found new roommates just right off the bat between transferring. So I know I'm gonna be missing making all those new interactions. And like the away trips were so fun. So
Okay,
fun.
wait. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. What would you say was your most favorite away trip memory or
Ooh,
place to go? Maybe I know it's a tough one. I don't know what I would say for this one, honestly.
okay. I'm gonna have to ponder on that for a second. Um,
There's so many
I,
to choose from.
I mean, for North Central, it was. I'm gonna have to go with our first NCAA appearance in like
Ooh,
so I think when we made it there, we were all like, "This is so new.
yeah.
This is new to everybody." So that was one for the Bucks. For Lewis, I think because we played 2 games away every time we traveled.
Mhm.
Um, I really want to say, oh, this is so hard.
I know it's tough. I
So
don't know
many
what I would
trips.
say. I can answer for me if you want me to. Give
You,
you
you go first. You go first.
Okay, I would say my favorite memory was this past year when we went to Rhode Island. We got to travel there and kind of just like explore like the town like aspect of it. There it was like right on the water. We got to like shop around and just all hang out as teammates. And that was during preseason. So that was kind of before like the heat of the season and everything like started happening. So it was really fun to like just hang out with everybody and like remember like this is what it's all about. It's not about like the wins and losses all the time. So I would
Yeah.
say that was my favorite, but I'm really excited for like this coming year because I know I'm gonna have like way more
Okay.
things
Uh,
to and like memories to make and just like so many cool things. So yeah. But back to you. What's your answer?
okay. I'm gonna have to go with our trip to Kansas City. Just because it was first of all so nice. The hotel was amazing, location wise. We played at Rockhurst over there, but we were able to just explore downtown Kansas City for a bit. And we went in like as a team and then we split into groups and we all met up again. But it was just so much fun. The different like stores we went to, the experience that we did, the people we talked to on the street, like everyone was so nice and it
And
was
that's
amazing.
like what you're gonna remember when soccer's all over. Like you're not gonna remember like, oh, I didn't score this point in this game or I didn't, like you're gonna remember all the memories and the friends that you made. And I think that's what people need to keep in mind, especially like when they're going through losing their sport.
Yeah.
Really important. Okay, which kind of brings me into like the transition period you're in currently. I know you're still going through it, so I have some good things to say about this because it's very present in your life right now. But did you go through a period of confusion or like sadness or even kind of like identity crisis when you were done? Just kind of explain that.
From it was more confusion rather than sadness.
Okay.
Well, I guess sadness now. I guess everything is settling in.
Mhm.
But again, with everything that I had to go through throughout this whole season, and just accepting how things are gonna be,
Mhm.
um, right when it ended, I was just confused of what do I do now? I have so much time on my hands. It wasn't like um, off season or spring season for us, um, where we would still have trainings and meetings, lifts. Um, for us, it was just like now I have to figure out everything that I
Yeah.
want to own. And sadness now just because I see the guys going back into spring ball and training pretty much 4 days a week, lifts, and I'm more like, oh, I have so much free time. I
Yeah.
got to figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's definitely figuring out who I want to be and what I want to do in the future, and just trying new things for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about love for a second. League One. You started working there, what, a couple months ago?
January.
Oh my gosh, it's been that long.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. So maybe talk about that a little bit. That's filled up a lot of your free time. I feel like that's kind of booked you for a lot of days and hours. But how has that kind of helped fill up your cup a little bit?
Um, I mean, with my schedule, I only had classes Tuesday, Thursdays, so it worked perfectly. So I would leave Thursday after all my classes and then be gone for the entire weekend and then come back Sunday, Monday, see wherever it took me. But I would be gone for a lot of weekends,
Yep.
which I enjoyed. I enjoyed, don't get me wrong, it was a great experience, getting to be in that volleyball environment, which I love the sport, but I got to understand way more. And especially like after being friends with you and your fam for years, um, I got to experience a whole new version of it. So like my job was more in merch. So
Yay.
I handled all like a lot of heat pressing, like t-shirts, sweatshirts, but even like jerseys for the players, and just running the stand a lot, tearing up and tearing down. But I made so many connections, with like people, working for Love, even players, that it brought me so much joy just being able to go there. And for me, it wasn't more like a job. Um, because I had fun. I actually enjoyed it. And especially with the people I was surrounded with, like I had no problem going back and forth because I actually enjoyed it. So
It's so
that,
it's like you would have never had that experience if you had been playing soccer all spring. And
yeah,
like, yeah, like soccer's over, but you have so much to look forward to and all these experiences to go through post soccer. I think that's like so cool. That's why I wanted to touch on that. But that's good. I love that you loved it. Okay, so then kind of bouncing off of that a little bit, since you experienced that confusion and like sadness period currently, like you're still going through the transition period right now, have there been any tools that have helped you kind of process what's going on?
for sure, communication. Um, I know before, even as an athlete when I was younger, um, and all the stresses I had to go through, I kind of hid it, and kind of silence myself, which I learned is not a great thing.
Don't do that.
So I think having a good, group of friends and just people, mentors, family, that I'm able to talk to, when I am feeling down. I know one of the my mentors from high school, he was a high school coach for soccer. He really prioritized the saying of mental health is key and it comes first. And I didn't fully understand it until probably a couple of years ago. And being able to still talk to him, other family members, friends, even if like through ups and downs, it's really helped me just to understand what I'm going through and find ways to move forward.
Yeah, I think that's so good because I had a football player on here a couple episodes ago, and he kind of talked about how for guys, they're not really used to talking about their emotion and
Yeah.
opening up to people. So it's been cool kind of learning his story and then you opening up about that because I think for a lot of male athletes, it's just not, it doesn't come as natural to them as it does for us. So yeah, I like that. Good job. Good growth. Okay. And then was there a moment you realized I'm more than just an athlete or I'm more than just a soccer player?
After I was more like I kind of had to push myself, um, to understand that I am more than just an athlete. Like my identity is not just the sport that I play. And I think I figured that out at an early age. I think in high school, I'll never forget this moment. It was at a youth camp, and it was this little girl, who I was helping like coach and train. And after the whole camp, she like ran up to me and like gave me a hug, and just thanked me for everything that I did. And honestly, that that's such a core memory for me because I understood that I'm able to give back to the younger generation, to my community, in different ways other than just playing the sport and just being there. So I think for me, it's still a process that everybody goes through. Um, but I knew at an early age that one sport doesn't define you, and there's a lot of characteristics and, factors that go into who you are.
Yeah, which is so important that you learn that from an early age so it didn't come as such a shock after you're done. I think if people can start to understand that and not put their whole identity in the sport that they play, it's going to be a lot easier when that sport comes to an end. So that's
Yeah.
good.
And I have like friends that is are still going through that process. And one of the things that they've told me is just trying new things help them a lot,
Mhm.
even if it is just running, like activities, being active. It's just trying out new things to figure out what you still like to do and what aligns with who you want to be.
Mhm. I love that. That's cool. Okay. I'm gonna jump to the future a little bit
Okay.
or what's to come for you. What are your current future plans for the next year? You kind of talked about how you're going to grad school and everything, but kind of
Yeah.
a little glimpse into that.
Okay. So I more specifically, I got into their UW Green Bay's applied program for the sport exercise performance psychology. That whole process was very stressful, but I'm very glad that I went through it and I got in. They only took 20 students each year, so it pretty. I'm
Wait,
very happy about that.
say that
Very
one
happy.
more time because I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'll be there for my next 2 years, um, and then hopefully become a CMPC, so certified mental performance coach. And then further down the line, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but uh, hopefully the goal is to be a sports psychologist. But I'm just excited. I'll be at UW Green Bay and just learning so much from professors, my peers, and the environment that I'm going to be able to be in. So
Yeah,
I'm really
that's so awesome. I feel like you're gonna have such an impact on the next generation for sure, just because of things that you've gone through and the insights that you can give them. And I think it's so cool that your job is going to be giving back to not only the sport that built you, but other sports that have impacted your life. So that's super cool. I love that. Okay, so then kind of going off of that, what does success look like for you now, and has it changed from when you played soccer?
it's definitely changed. Before with soccer, I would look at like it's weird stats, minutes,
Mm-hmm.
so like passes completed, how much I ran, and like goals, assists. So I think my transition has more been like later on in life. It's more been like if I'm happy with it, if I'm content with my performance, that's all that matters. And that's more an individualistic approach, team wise. Like if I'm able to help the team in any way I can, um, then that's a win. But now transitioning after the sport, and for me, I think understanding that not everything is going to be what other people want it to be, and it's my life,
Yeah.
and that's that I want to prioritize is um, like not everybody is going to agree with what I'm going to be doing, but if I know that it fits with my morals and I'm content with it, um, my family is like happy with it, then that's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm. That's super cool. And the job that you want to go into is going to be so rewarding in so many different ways than soccer could have ever been, you know? So that's so cool. I love that. Okay, last question to wrap things up. I normally end episodes with a piece of advice you would give your younger self, but I want to do that plus something. So,
Okay.
first question is, what advice would you give your younger self? And then the second question is, what advice would you give anyone who is leaving their sport behind? So, first with your younger self, and then we'll get to the next
Um, Younger self, give yourself some grace.
one.
Um, you have been like working so hard and putting in so much time and effort in it. Um, and like sometimes other people don't see it and only you see it, or maybe it's like reversed. Because I know for me, when I was younger, I was my biggest critic. So I
I think
think,
that's pretty much everybody's story.
um, but I think like being able to understand that it's okay. Like it may not have worked now, but later on it's gonna pay off. So take away a little bit of that stress when I was younger. Just give yourself some grace.
Yeah, it's funny because every time I ask people that question, it's always like either don't be so hard on yourself, give yourself grace, or just like have fun with it. Because I think like all of us growing up playing sports, like we put so much pressure on ourselves to like be perfect all the time and be really good right off the bat. And just like we didn't know the amount of pressure we were putting on ourselves was like how much it was weighing down on us. And I know that like that's the piece of advice I would give myself too, is to just like chill out and just like have fun with it and like remember why I fell in love with the sport in the first place. So
Mhm.
yeah, you're very similar to a lot of other people that have said that. So that's cool.
Okay.
But then, second question, what advice would you give anyone who is leaving their sport behind?
Um, there's always light at the other side of the tunnel. I know it's hard now. It might be hard immediately right after you feel it later on, like me, but keep going. Don't stop. Don't force yourself to move too quickly or just stop in one place. There's always something better that's to come, and you have time. Like you're still young. You're gonna figure everything out one way or another, and people are always gonna be there for you. So,
Period. I love that. Well, thank you,
isn't it?
Sam, for giving us a little look into your own journey and the journey you're currently on with leaving soccer behind. I know it's not easy, and I know that a lot of people will be able to relate to this. So, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you guys can listen to the full episode on Spotify, watch the full episode on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on both and also follow us on Instagram.
Mm.
I will have all of that linked in the descriptions and the captions below. So don't worry, you will be able to find us. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out via Instagram, DM, or email. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much, Sam, for being on. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Say bye.
You guys.